Yo, what is up YouTube? Lee the Captain here, and I believe that SAND, the utility token of Sandbox, during the next bull run could very well have such an incredible rally and hypothetically at least go to the price of $20. And of course, right, during the process, also hypothetically make all of those Sandbox critics come running over to their girlfriend's boyfriend's grandma and start begging for that used Bratwurst extender Taylor Swift edition. Gonna be a little bit embarrassing if you ask me, but hey, that's neither Bratwurst extender nor financial advice. But before I continue on and explain several reasons which I believe could very well allow for that to happen, I first want to explain how SAND at the price of $20 is actually not that crazy, because some people, when they hear $20, they may think, oh, wow, that's insane. But I disagree. If we take a look at this, if SAND were to go to the price of $20, considering its current circulating supply, at that point, it would have a market cap of around $42 billion. And now, $42 billion, I know it's crazy to some people, but in reality, in the world of cryptos, it's actually not that much, because when you take a look at Dogecoin back in 2021, Dogecoin actually had an all-time high market cap of over $80 billion. So when we take a look at around $42 billion, that's almost nothing compared to $80 billion. And now when I say this, some people, they may think, it's not fair to compare something like Dogecoin to SAND. Dogecoin, more fans, more hype, community is stronger. Okay, that I agree. But I think this, if anything, visualizes how in the world of cryptos, reaching over $40 billion in market cap is actually not that unrealistic. It's not unheard of. And personally, why would SAND not go to this price target? Because when we take a look at Sandbox more specifically, I think it's one of the best metaverses out there. A lot of metaverses out there, they're just complete caca. They're bad, they're atrocious, and a lot of them are not even functioning properly. That's what she said. But when we take a look at Sandbox, not only is it functioning properly, but the community is very strong. It's well established, and overall, the metaverse is very fun to play. It's not like the majority of the competition that's really bad. And I think that Sandbox being focused on the metaverse right now is such a genius move, because ever since 2021, a lot of projects out there, they completely stopped believing in the metaverse. But I think that's a bad mistake, because by 2030, according to McKinsey, the metaverse could reach $5 trillion in value. I mean, isn't that insane? That's bigger than a lot of countries' GDP. A very insane figure right there. And I think this, if anything, visualizes how what we're seeing with the metaverse right now, we really haven't seen anything yet. I think the best days are still ahead. And the reason why I think Sandbox is entering at the perfect time is because, again, as of right now, the competition is relatively weak and the whole metaverse scene overall is still relatively in its infancy. So I think by Sandbox being focused on the metaverse right now, they are anticipating the wave later on. And the wave, of course, being the metaverse. Because, if Sandbox is chasing the trend of the metaverse later on, I think it's going to be too little too late at that point. I think it's much better anticipating a trend as opposed to chasing a trend. For instance, let's say I'm surfing in the ocean, I'm on my board. The only way for me to catch the wave is if I'm putting myself in a prime position in the ocean to catch the wave, right? If let's say someone is 50 feet away and they're trying to chase after the wave, they're trying to swim after it, there's no way they can swim faster than the waves in the ocean. That's just not possible. Again, I think it's much better anticipating a wave as opposed to chasing it. And I think that Sandbox, they understand this concept, which is why they're focused on the metaverse right now. I think it's a genius move, but it doesn't end there, because Sandbox, it has amazing statistics. For instance, there's currently over 200,000 holders, which I think is insane. And here's the thing, there's currently over 200 brands involved with Sandbox already, which include Gucci, Adidas, Ubisoft, and even Snoop Dogg as well. Now, that I don't really think is that amazing. I mean, come on, right? I mean, he has cornrows, and his cornrows are all the way back 50% from his forehead or whatever. What is that all about? You gotta shave it, Snoop Dogg. Come on, man. But yeah, besides that point, it's just a little bit of a rant there. Sandbox, it has amazing partnerships, in my opinion. In addition, there's also currently over 2.5 million wallets registered with Sandbox. I mean, isn't that insane? Carayo, porra. And let's not forget, right? When it comes to Sandbox, they are a subsidiary of Animoca Brands. And when it comes to Animoca Brands, it's not some sort of animal company or whatever. That's not the case whatsoever. It happens to be a Hong Kong-based video game software and venture capital company that, as of January of last year, was valued at around $5 billion. I mean, isn't that crazy? That's absolutely insane. Animoca, it's the real deal, and I think they're going to lead Sandbox in such an amazing direction moving forward. So when I take a look at Sandbox, statistics A+, community, it's growing at a very rapid pace, focus on the right market, aka the metaverse, a lot of fans, conviction for Sandbox is very strong. Again, right, over 200,000 holders. Also, it's a subsidiary of Animoca Brands. I mean, what more can you ask for, right? As a metaverse-related project, it pretty much ticks all the boxes in my opinion. And now, as we all know, a bull run typically happens anywhere between 6 to 12 months after a Bitcoin halving event, which is predicted to happen sometime around April of this year. And I can't wait for the next bull run. And how am I preparing myself for the next bull run? And that is through dollar cost averaging. By consistently putting more and more on a set schedule on a consistent basis, I think that I'm preparing myself for the next bull run in such an amazing way. Anytime I earn any sort of income, I just set aside some for sand. That is the beauty about dollar cost averaging. During the next bull run, it could very well be something out of the storybooks, because when we take a look back in 2021, during that crazy bull run, there was only roughly around 300 million people in cryptos. And yet, still even despite that, the bull run that year was that insane. However, you fast forward to today, there's currently over 420 million people in cryptos. That's over 100 million more. When there's this many people in cryptos, I think that during the next bull run, all of the FOMO, buying pressure, buying volume, and as well as the altcoin season that we saw back in 2021 could very well be amplified in such a fantastic way. I think that during the next bull run, SAND is ready to at least hypothetically go to the price of $20 and shock the world and have such an incredible rally. And I can't wait for the next bull run. I'm so excited. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if all of those Sandbox critics started running over to their girlfriend's boyfriend's grandma and start begging for that used Bratwurst Extender Taylor Swift edition. If you know, you know. And if you want to check out a very interesting video, make sure to go ahead and click on this thumbnail right here. It's a very fantastic video, and I think you all would really love it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.